Okay, we're going to continue with solving more equations. Okay? Now, exercises of this type, you can find them on page 15, also on your notebook, and a link under this video where you can find more exercises, and the ones that are on the link will count as your accumulated points. Okay, so make sure to check them out. Okay, so let's use the properties and the information we already know to keep solving more equations. Okay, let's work on number 1. 3x plus 2x equals 18 plus 7. Okay, so since we already know that we can add or subtract numbers that have variables with other numbers that have variables and numbers that have numbers. Okay, so these two, we can add them. 3 plus 2, 5x, and 18 plus 7, 25. Okay, and this number is multiplying. So how do I switch it to the other side? Divide. Okay, so we take this 5, we move it to the other side, dividing. Okay, so we have x equals 25 divided by 5. So that means that x equals 5. How do we check it? We can prove it with changing the x on the original equation. Let's see if it's true. Okay, so we can take 3 times 5 plus 2 times 5 equals 18 plus 7. 3 times 5, 15, plus 2 times 5, 10. And we know that 18 plus 7 is 25. So 25 equals 25. Okay, so that's how we know that our equation is correct. Okay, we're adding variables with variables and numbers with numbers, and we're finding the value for x that will make the original equation true. Okay, let's work on number 2. Number 2 says minus 7x equals 14 plus 21. Okay, so same thing. Okay, we add the numbers that we can add. So this would be 35 minus 7x. Okay, now we want to leave x alone, so we take this number minus 7 and we switch it to the other side, dividing, and the number is negative, so we will carry it dividing, we have to put negative. So we have x equals 35 divided by minus 7. Okay, and 35 divided by 7 equals 5. Positive divided by negative, negative. Okay, so we know that the answer is here. Okay, and what do? We substitute in the original equation just to make sure that it is correct. Okay, so we put minus 7 times minus 5 equals 14 plus 21. Minus times minus, positive. 7 times 5, 35. 14 plus 21, 35. Okay, so we know that the answer is correct. Okay, perfect. I'll give you one moment. Okay, remember that in these videos you can pause, you can rewind and watch it as many times as you need. Okay, let's work on the next ones. Okay, number 3. R minus 23 equals minus 6. Okay, so since we want to leave r alone, and this one is negative, we're going to switch this number to the other side. Okay, here it's negative. It's going to change into positive. Remember that when we do not change the sign is when we are dividing or multiplying. Okay, so we have r equals minus 6 plus 23, because we have to change the sign. Okay, so r equals minus 6 plus 23 is the same as saying 23 minus 6. Okay, that would be 17 positive. Okay, how can we check if this answer is correct? We substitute the r in the original equation. So we have 17 minus 23 equals minus 6. 17 minus 23 minus 6. So we know that the answer is correct. Now, let's work on number 4. Here, we have to apply the property that we already know, distributive property. Okay? This number is going to multiply this one first, and this number is going to multiply this one first. Okay? And then we can add or subtract the numbers that we need. Okay? So we would have 3 times x, 3x. 3 positive times minus 2, minus 6. And that would be, 54. Okay? Now, this number is negative. How do I switch it to the other side? Positive. Why? Because we are subtracting. Okay? When we subtract, we change the sign. Okay? So we have 3x equals 54 plus 6. 3x equals 60. Okay? Now, this number is multiplying. How do I switch it to the other side? Dividing. Okay? And we do not change the sign. Okay? So we would have x equals 60 divided by 3. X equals 20. Okay? How do we know that this is correct? Let's substitute x in the original equation. So we have 3 times 20 minus 6 equals 54. 3 times 20, 60 minus 6 equals 54. And 54 equals 54. So we know that our answer is correct. Okay? So what do we have to pay attention to? We have to pay attention to signs. When we're moving them from one side to the other, we change the sign if they are adding or subtracting. When we multiply or divide, we do not change the sign. Okay? And we will have some exercises in which we have to apply the distributive rule that we already know. Okay? Perfect. Okay? So more exercises on page 15 on your books and on the link below this video, which will count as your accumulative work.